Hey guys, how you doing? I have to use this mic from Sony, directional. Then, because there are constructions in my upper floor, right? So, anytime then it will start the drilling, right? So will be gong, something like that, right? So I can't use that mic before. That means hanging on my neck, right? That one then will collect a lot of noises. Then this one is directional. Then I put my mouth um, more close to the microphone, right? So whenever there is suddenly there is the drilling noise, then will be reduced as much as possible, right? So today is another Friday, and we will talk about Uber, right? Actually, we know that the auto driving Waymo, Uber now is working together and is starting in the US, and we know that for Tesla, then they have the robot tax, but not very smooth. Then they violate the cars, two-car violate the traffic, right? And then they have to under investigation, something like that. So Waymo and Uber start to have the profit, right? Auto driving, right? The taxi. So does Uber's stock price going to fly? Then we will check about that today, right? Okay, our Faircoin portfolio been it's quite all right. No loss already this year. Then 124%, right, as a whole. So for any of you have any comments, then you can leave under the YouTube, or you can directly email to me by email usstockmarketweekly@gmail.com. Thanks. And this is our cover. That is Uber car, right? Yesterday still a rise, right? For Dow Jones rised, wow, 404 points, right? And closed at 14,386. Nasdaq is just a little bit to the peak again, right? Rise at 194 points to 20,167, right? Just maybe 50 points, then they'll peak. This is our Falcon 350,000 portfolio. Then our portfolio don't have any loss this year already, right? Quite sudden, right? China's industrial profit plunged 9.1% in 7 months, right? In 7 months, right? But the news, the context doesn't tell the same thing, right? It said that their cumulative profit at some major industrial firms fell 1.1% in the first 5 months. That is cumulative, right? So I don't know, right? Maybe jobs, right? We don't know. Not looking good. Xiaomi, we know that is making the phones, right? And we all know that it turned to the EV already, right? Actually, this year, only this year, right? Xiaomi stock price rise at 2.5 times, not percent, rise at 2.5 times this year, right? I mean this year, right? And then just, right? Xiaomi revealed that its new car, right? Luxury YU7 SUV and costs cheaper than Tesla's Model Y. Now it's only costs at 253,500 yen, right? And it's 10,000 yen cheaper than Tesla's Model Y. I think that is subsidized from the China government, right? Nike's performance just launched seems good, but we know that Nike's this year been stock price dropped at 33% already. This is really bad. And actually, the better than expected fourth quarter earning is she axed the production of China, axed that one, right? So we have to look forward how it gains the progress, right? Without that market, then how can it progress, right? And Nike said the tariff will cost it $1 billion more before the price increase, right? And she has to shift the supply chain, right? And then I think the only thing is she put up the price, right? In certain areas, like certain countries like US or Europe, something like that, right? Not good to the consumers. Um, this company's name in China is the first time I ever heard. Chipu, right? And the news said that OpenAI is going to being caught the attention by this new global AI star in China called Shipu. I don't know, right? The first time I hear this name, I can get, and actually this is being banned by the US, right? Being banned by the US. Hope I can get more information. Okay, then we start for the Uber. Uber's stock price been quite shaky. You can see that this is the all time, right? She been IPO for only 5 or 6 years, right? You can see that the stock price very shaky, right? Going up, going down, going up, going down. But in the past 5 years, then up to 1.2 times, right? 1.2 times, no dividend, right? And the PE ratio now is quite cheap, 16.24 only, quite cheap. In the past 5 years, the stock price rise up by 2.14 times, right? Still okay, right? If you hold it long. In the past 1 year, the stock price rise at 31%, and in the past 6 months, rise at 51%, right? But you have to be quite a big holding power. You can see that the stock price is very shaky, right? Sometimes suddenly dropped it more than 10%, right? See that, right? In February is $80, but in April is 64 something, right? Very, very easy, then dropped it by 20%, right? We can see that there is the 1/4 and 1/4 revenue, right? And the gray area is the delivery and the freight, and then the back is the mobility, right? I put a very big question mark there. See that, right? First quarter of this year, right? The total revenue obviously less than last quarter, right? Obviously. And also the gross booking is also obviously less than 1/4 before. You can see that, although it increased by 18% year over year. She worked with some big names like the Waymo. Waymo is from Google, and then Baidu, but not in China, right? Baidu, but not in China, outside China, right? Maybe in the East Asia. And then Pony, we know that. We know that. Tesla, no more, right? Nvidia is for the auto driving, right? And then Mobileye's, right? All the names, we know that. Actually, I never doubt of the size and the growing of the market because it's just start, right? Waymo just start, Uber just start, right? I mean the auto driving, right? Auto driving taxi is what I mean, right? That means you go out and then you call a taxi, no people driving, and then you input the destination, and then that is very cheap, right? Maybe just few dollars, right? If in Hong Kong, then maybe just few dollars, and then if you actually, I think is cheaper than you drive, or even cheaper than you take the MTR, right? Because no one driving, right? We see that even in the MTR, if someone is driving, right? Someone is driving, the bus is someone is driving, minibus is driving, but there's no people, right? The most expensive expense is the people, right? The labor cost, right? So actually, that is a very fast growing market. You see that there's Asia Pacific, right? With the growth rate, what they can project, the compound increasing rate for the market is 23.6% for the coming 5 years, right? So I never doubt on the market, right? A lot of players there, right? Google is the Waymo, and then Amazon or Cloud Factory. That is for the cloud, right? Then you have to see the road traffic, a lot of data exchange, then that is for the data center, right? We take a look on the revenue of this quarter, right? This quarter is the first 3 months of this year, right? January, February, and March. That is, I put vertical red around there. Revenue, mobility, 15% increment, good. Delivery, 18, good, right? Freight lost 2%, make the total 14% increment, good, right? And the gross booking, right? Mobility increased by 13%, the delivery 15%, and freight decreased by 2%, make the total still increasing by 14%. That is good, right? I put the square in the middle, right? So you know that that is for the first quarter, right? And we look at the balance sheet first, right? Current asset 12.3 billion. That is in the unit of million US dollar, right? And the current asset now, right, is 12.3 billion US dollar. And the current liability is 12.1. So that's enough to cover, right? And then there is long-term liability like the insurance. You know that, right? They have to buy the insurance, right? For the passengers like us. Insurance and the debt and then the lease, something like that, for parking the car, something like that, right? So actually make up the total is about 17 billion US dollar for the long-term debt. So we take a look on the net income, right? Take a look on the net income for this quarter, 1.78 billion US dollar, right? And the same quarter but last year is a loss. It's a loss of 654 million US dollar, right? So you cannot compare the percentage. And the EPS is 85 cents, right? And the gross booking and the trip, something like that, right? So actually then that is enough for her. If she keep this net income, then it's enough for her to pay the interest and then to return the capital, but no problem. But we are not sure, right? Because it's just she turns positive in 1 or 2 quarter only, right? But that is in a good position, right? So the finance still okay for the balance sheet. The forward PE is 31, right? But I don't think that is important, right? If now she is turning positive, right, then that's not important, right? Because she just starting for the business, right? I'm imagining a lot of people then may take it, right? If everything is safe, we know that that is cheap, right? A lot of people then what? They will take the short trip, right? In the US, right? Inside the city, right? Some area, somewhere you want to go, but you don't want to drive, right? You want maybe just 1 hour's drive, then or half hour's drive. You take the Waymo, right? Maybe just $10, right? In Hong Kong, then if I go to somewhere about 1 hour, right? If it's safe enough, maybe just $10. If I take the MTR, is 20 $20. If it's just $10, I would take it if it's safe enough, right? Because that doesn't matter. Then you take 40 minutes or 45 minutes, right? Doesn't matter, right? As long as it's safe, then it's okay, right? Safe and cheaper is okay, right? So I can see that there is a lot of competition there, but there is a lot. The market is there, right? The market is a virgin, right? The market is a virgin, just come up, right? a lot of competitors, but there is a lot of good ride for us to waiting for, right? But then we can also put our bet in the Nvidia, right? Then in the data center, something like that, right? So a lot of potentials there, right? But I think that Uber may not be a bad choice, right? So we should keep an eye on that, right? Thanks guys for watching, and lucky there is no construction, right? Quite lucky today, right? So like, comment, share, and subscribe are welcome. So I hope all of you have a very happy weekend. See you guys on next Friday. Bye bye.